You and those around you collectively man a spaceship in the far distant future, and you're being attacked by aliens. Making matters even worse, your ship is falling apart, and your captain is dead. Will you be able to deal with every threat thrown your way, or will you join your captain in his fate? This is the Board Game Archives, and we're starting a new series called First Impressions, and our first episode will be over The Captain is Dead. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Board Game Archives. We wanted to start off an entirely new series that we like to call First Impressions. We're going to be cracking open a game that we haven't played before, looking at its contents, and then be giving you our first impressions. So the first board game we want to look at today is The Captain is Dead, our newest game in our collection. The Captain is Dead is produced by Alderac Entertainment Group and is designed by Joe Price and JT Smith. For the Board Game Archives, I'd like to thank everybody who participated in creating this game. It definitely takes a village to create a good board game, and so I wanted to make sure that each and every one of you got the proper credits. So thank you so much for taking the time to create The Captain is Dead. So let's crack open the game so that we can show you exactly what to expect with The Captain is Dead. First off is a rulebook. It looks thick, it looks big, but the information I can promise is very easy to comprehend. At the point of recording this, I've only gotten through the first few pages, but I'm able to understand what the information is trying to say, and I'm confident that I'll be able to play the game correctly within the first or second playthrough, and that's always a really good sign for the production of a game if you're able to easily understand it from the get-go. There are also 30 different characters, both playable and alien, and a board that feels very well made and well crafted, so that's a definite plus right there. Lastly, inside the box, there are many cards and pieces that will help with the overall gameplay of the game. Now, I've pushed out each of the characters from that larger plastic folder and put them in this baggie, and one complaint that I do have about the game is that they do feel a tad bit cheap. I took out that plastic folder and started shaking it just to show you how flimsy they are. My problem with them being flimsy is that the game did cost $50. For context, these are characters from the game Horrified, which is about $35, and these characters are made of cardboard, so they feel noticeably thicker. Meanwhile, these are other monsters from the game, from Horrified, and they are full plastic. They feel like maybe they've been 3D printed or anything of the sort, but they feel significantly better made and significantly thicker, despite the fact that Horrified is $15 cheaper than The Captain is Dead. Meanwhile, these here are trains from the game Ticket to Ride, and they feel very similar to the monsters from Horrified. Again, maybe they've been 3D printed, but the fact is, this game, Ticket to Ride, has about the same price point as The Captain is Dead, but the little trains feel significantly sturdier and better made than the characters of The Captain is Dead. So overall, I feel that The Captain is Dead could have spent a little bit more time and effort on the overall quality of the characters in terms of feel and sturdiness, but otherwise, it's a tiny little complaint. It's not going to end the world or anything. Now, one good thing about the characters is that they come with these little stands, and they're each personalized. Some are circular and some are rectangular, and they match the color of the character. So obviously not in this scenario, the character is green, the stand is red, but some characters are green, some are red, some are yellow, and the stands reflect that. So when you put your character on the board, it is much easier to spot them because you can just look for whatever stand they have. Here are the characters, and you can see that they're each different colors. There's a hierarchy on the ship in The Captain is Dead, and as you can see with each individual character, the hierarchy is shown by the color. I personally love the design of the characters. It's like a retro, late 70s, early 80s Star Trek kind of look. So overall, I think that the design of this game is phenomenal. And so when we create the overall review of this game, I'm definitely going to factor that into the overall aesthetics. The next card that we wanted to highlight are the battle plans, which will help you combat the aliens and fix the ship as you play across the game. Now, we haven't played the game yet. The entire point of this First Impressions video is to give you our first impressions prior to playing, but what we do like about these battle plans is that there are so many of them. So we feel that that will give a lot of variety and replayability to the game. We'll have to test that out when we first play it, but that's a really good sign so far. Another good sign are these cards, the alert cards, which are separated into 3 categories. You can see the yellows, the oranges, and the reds. Now, they seem to be of different difficulties, and you can work against them in different ways. These red cards are the worst of the worst. You can see here, core shutdown, jump core breach. Either everybody gets injured or everybody dies immediately, so you do not want a red card. That really helps up the stakes, and so we love that that could add to the overall desperation that you're gonna feel throughout the game. That's exactly what we want out of an action game like this. Meanwhile, the other cards seem like they can be dealt with, which we like because you're not utterly helpless. We do like the fact that there are high stakes. Some cards can let you die, some cards can injure people in a certain room or damage part of the ship, but at the same time, you can fight back against a lot of these cards. So it straddles a fine line between high stakes and being able to fight back, and we like that. Another thing that the game offers are these tiny little torpedoes which you can use to fight back against the aliens. You can throw them at your girlfriend if you want to. You can throw them at your dog if you want to. The torpedoes are made out of a sort of hard plastic, which makes them feel very well made, so that's a definite bonus in our eyes. The board, meanwhile, is quite nice. You can clearly see where every part of the ship is located. The colors help you very easily differentiate between rooms and between places to put certain cards and characters and whatnot. It honestly looks a lot like Among Us if you ever played that back during the pandemic lockdowns. As of right now, we really like the way that the game board looks. We're not sure if that's going to stay the same as we start to play the game a few rounds, but at least for now, we are really big fans of the overall design of the game board. And lastly, let's take a little look at the guidebook. So, like I said earlier, the rules are very simple and easy to understand. If you look, there is a lot of information, however, a lot of it is pictures, and so it's really easy to fully understand the information because you're able to check back at what exactly the rules are referring to. I've personally played a lot of games where it's just a bunch of text, where you just have to read, and it just gets to be so much, and it's really hard to fully comprehend. But here, the information is a lot better. You can see that they're broken down into little chunks, the information is, and the rules are really easy to follow. I may be dumb, I may not have the best reading comprehension, but at least for me, I really appreciate the fact that the rules are broken down into chunks and you have pictures to follow along. It really helps the third grader in me understand this. Overall, we're going to give The Captain is Dead an overall rating of 8 out of 10. We love the overall art style of the game, and the game is unlike anything that we personally own, and so because of that, it definitely does stand out. That's what gets it so many points. However, our two main concerns are, one, the little character models aren't the sturdiest, and number two, something I very briefly touched on, is that the game is $50, and so I worry, does the game have enough content to justify that high price? We're going to continue posting videos about The Captain is Dead, whether it be gameplays or reviews or anything of the sort, so if you find yourself enjoying this game, make sure to like and subscribe, so that way you'll still be in the loop whenever we post our next video. Thank you so much for watching this far, we truly appreciate each and every one of you, and we hope you have a wonderful weekend.